This video is part one in a series about self-love and how to overcome negative self-talk using tapping or EFT. If you haven't done EFT before, start with my tutorial on EFT, which should be in a link at the top of the screen. So we all hear about self-love and how can we love ourselves more. We know it's important, but what does it mean? When I've heard this advice before, I have thought of taking more baths or going shopping or treating myself to a movie or taking myself out to dinner or something like that. That's the type of advice that we hear for how to love yourself more. And that stuff is all great, but it doesn't have any real long-lasting effects, and it doesn't do anything to address the real underlying problem that we have if we don't have much self-love. So what does self-love look like, and what does it mean if we're looking for something a little bit deeper, something that can maybe make an actual change in our lives? I think the most important thing in terms of learning how to love yourself is to identify that negative voice inside of you that is saying that you're unlovable or unworthy in some way. It's about overcoming negative self-talk. And this is usually a quiet, subtle voice that we have in our head that says maybe we're not as smart as other people, or we're not as good as so-and-so, or I can never do anything right, I'm always making mistakes. That negative self-talk is not helpful. It's only there to limit us, and over time it can really do damage. As it turns out, most of us have a lot of moments where we're feeling pretty unlovable or not worthy. It's definitely there if we make a mistake or if we're feeling rejected by someone, but it's also there in really subtle moments too. Like if you're just feeling like you're not up to snuff, or especially if you're comparing yourself to somebody else. Sometimes even when we have low energy or we're tired, we will start to have this negative sort of inner critic voice. And this negative inner voice takes away our self-esteem. It points out our flaws. It says discouraging things to us when we compare ourselves to others. The self-talk creates reality for us. And the problem is we get so used to negative self-talk that we hardly notice it. And you can't question something if you're barely acknowledging that it's there. So this voice in our head says something negative, and we just take it as the truth. We assimilate it into our idea of who we are. It makes us feel worse about ourselves, and we hardly even notice. So how can we change this? It's not so much that we need to eliminate negative self-talk. It's a pretty ingrained habit. We just need to stop believing it because it's not true. It's lying to us. It's telling us negative things about ourselves and how limited we are, and it's just not reality. So just a basic understanding of emotional freedom technique gives us such a good way to check in with ourselves and to just see how much negative self-talk have we been having, and how do we really feel about ourselves? How much self-love are we experiencing? And that's because the setup phrase, the first thing that we do with EFT, is saying, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. For example, we could say, even though I made a mistake today at work, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. That's our setup phrase. So sometimes when we're saying, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, we might think, I don't, or we might think, I'm really feeling like a loser right now, or I don't know if I ever feel like I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So right from the start, EFT gives you a chance to check in with how you feel about yourself. And when we believe our negative self-talk, we're probably feeling pretty bad. We're definitely not feeling like we deeply and completely love and accept ourselves. So let's just try a round of tapping and see if we can dislodge some of these false, harmful beliefs about ourselves. So we're just going to get quiet for a moment, and we are going to rate our self-love on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being you're feeling really good about yourself, and 1 being you just feel like crap. So go ahead and just close your eyes. And when I say the phrase, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, how true does that feel for you right now? So if that feels really true, you can rate yourself a 10, and maybe you don't need to watch the rest of this video. If it's lower than a 10 and you don't feel like you have much love for yourself right now, just say the number out loud, and we'll just do a little bit of tapping and see if we can change that feeling a little bit. So we'll just use the karate chop point for our setup statement. And you just repeat after me. It can be silent or out loud. Even though I don't feel good enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I don't forgive myself, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I don't feel like I deserve love, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I don't feel like I'm as good or smart as others, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All these bad feelings, all these hurtful thoughts, are they true? They feel so true. They must be true because they feel true. But they make me feel so bad. They make me feel bad about myself. All these mean thoughts. I wonder if they're true. They sure feel true. But what if they're not? And just take a deep breath. Check in for a minute. And I'm just curious to see if anything came up for you. Maybe some of those statements felt relevant to you, and maybe some felt a little less relevant. Did any specific phrases feel true to you? Or did any other phrases come to mind? And do you believe any of these things about yourself? We're going to do another round and see if we can identify some of this self-talk a little bit more clearly. All of these bad feelings, all of these mean thoughts, are they true? They're not. They're not true because they're based in fear. They're based in old ideas that I don't need anymore. Maybe if I tell myself how bad I am, I'll eventually improve. Wait, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't work like that. Mean thoughts just make me feel worse. They just make me feel stuck. If I want to be a better person, I need encouragement. I need love. I need gentleness. I need to focus on my strengths. I need to identify with my potential. I choose to let go of this negativity. I choose to let go of this fear. It's not helping me at all. It just makes me feel small and stuck. And this negative self-talk is not true anyway. Why would I listen to lies? Why would I base my decisions on that? I'm not worthy of love. Is that true? How could it be? I'm made of love. I am love. Even when I don't feel it. I allow myself to be loved. I allow myself to let go of these thoughts that are unhelpful. I let go of this self-talk. I release all of this negative energy. I release all of this negativity. So just take another breath. Check in with yourself. So how do you feel about that phrase now? I deeply and completely love and accept myself. On a scale of 1 to 10, what feels true for you now when you ask yourself that? And what would it feel like if you did not believe any of this self-talk? What would it feel like if you were the kind of person who just didn't have any negative thoughts at all? You were unable to think negative thoughts about yourself. Just imagine, what would that feel like? Now we're going to do a final session to just try to tap in some positive energy. So we'll do karate chop point again. Even though I sometimes feel bad, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I doubt myself, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm sometimes unsure of myself, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. What would it feel like to have no negative self-talk? I would feel so free. I would feel so good. I would feel fearless. To be free of negativity would feel so great. I can be anybody I want to be. I choose to let go of this negativity. I'm letting go of this old self. This self that believes all of this negativity. I can be anyone I want to be. I'm not limited in any way, except by negative self-talk. But I'm letting that go. I don't need this anymore. I'll let go of negative energy. That negative talk is a lie because it's based on fear. I choose to believe in love. I choose not to believe in fear. I choose to believe in myself. I choose to believe in my potential. I choose to believe in positivity. I choose to believe in freedom. I choose to believe in joy. I love feeling free of this. I love feeling loving towards myself. It makes me more loving towards others. And everybody needs that. I choose love. I choose love. Letting go of fear. I choose to love myself. So hopefully this exercise lifted you a little bit. It takes practice to let go of any negative habits, and it definitely takes practice to stop believing the negative self-talk that we hear all the time. So try this a few times, and for the rest of the day and throughout the week, check in to how much self-love you have and pay attention to the negative self-talk. Try to identify it and call it out for what it is. It is not helpful. It can only harm you, and over time, it can really do damage to your self-esteem. So don't be fooled by negative self-talk. Let it go and choose to love yourself.